There's the audience. Bill Nye, the science guy, is known by most, and recently he had a video on YouTube that went viral where he was discussing climate change and the greenhouse effect. And in the video, he had an important quote that said, "By the end of the century, if emissions keep rising, the average temperature on Earth could go up another 4 to 8 degrees." Basically, what he was saying is that the planet's on fire. If we as a whole don't start to make some positive changes towards the greenhouse effect and climate change, we could all be facing some serious issues sooner than we think. I chose this topic because I don't think enough people are informed on the activities that we are currently doing and how they contribute to climate change and global warming and all of the things that people talk about a lot of the times. These things will eventually affect our children or their children, maybe not us so much, at least in the time frame that we're around, but eventually our kids and our kids' kids. So if I can persuade just even a couple people to make small changes towards the benefit of the environment and our future, then that's great. The first main point would be to explain what the greenhouse effect is. The second I'm going to talk about is the negative effects or the negative impacts of the greenhouse effect. And then the third point is maybe some things that we can do to change the path that we're on currently when it comes to the greenhouse effect. So, what is the greenhouse effect? The greenhouse effect is basically we are trapping the sun's heat. It's basically the Earth is surrounded by a greenhouse, and in a greenhouse you trap heat, and it grows the plants and everything in it. So essentially what the greenhouse effect does for Earth is that it traps the heat so that our temperatures remain enough or livable conditions for the planet. If we didn't have the greenhouse effect, our temperatures would be kind of like the moon, in that we'd go from different extremes, either really hot or really cold, and it wouldn't be livable. So it's very important to have the greenhouse effect. Some of the main gases that cause the greenhouse effect are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, the ozone, and water vapor. So the main lesson on the greenhouse effect is that we need it in order to live on the planet, but that we also don't want to contribute more gases to what is already being trapped by our atmosphere. The ozone gases are critical because we are able to avoid the harmful UV rays from the sun, and that those cause cancer, sunburn, can damage our immune system as well as our eyes. So that's an important gas that we have in our atmosphere. What happens when the greenhouse effect is altered, or the negative aspects of the greenhouse effect? So 2018 was the hottest year on record according to the Business Insider. Because oceans are absorbing all of the heat that are currently being trapped in our atmosphere, they are expanding, which is contributing to the sea level rise, which just keeps getting higher and higher each year. And when the sea level rises, obviously that's going to cause some flooding to the coastal cities. It contributes to extreme weather, such as stronger hurricanes, tornadoes, all kinds of other events. And also, the global warming is affecting all of the glaciers in Antarctica and Greenland. Those are melting at a pretty fast rate, which is we kind of need glaciers because they contribute to 60% of our fresh water, and they also help to reflect the sun so that it doesn't heat up our planet even more than it already is. So that's important. We definitely need those. And that's according to NASA. What are some changes that we can make to stop the negative side of the greenhouse effect? Energy efficiency is one. Solar panels are something that you can do in your house. You can, tankless water heaters are another energy efficient appliance. LED light bulbs, that's a small change that you could make. What else? Cars, recycling.
Anything energy efficient.
Recycling. Cars, electric cars are kind of a big thing right now. Tesla is leading the way for electric cars. They're kind of expensive, but if you want to help the planet, that's a good way to go. Also, reducing waste, water waste. Let's say when you're brushing your teeth, don't leave the water on while you're brushing your teeth. Turn it off and brush your teeth. Turn it back on when you need to rinse your mouth. That's a simple change that you could make. Unplug appliances when you're not using them. That's a good way to not waste energy. And then forests. We definitely need to think about restarting to build the forests that we are taking out, because trees are very important. They absorb the carbon dioxide that we don't want in our atmosphere, and they also release oxygen. So very important that we rebuild our trees. So if we all want our children and grandchildren to be able to continue to live on this planet, then we have to start changing our behaviors and making some changes now when it comes to the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is important for our planet in that it provides the necessary heat for us to all be able to maintain life here on Earth. However, the greenhouse effect is starting to become a bad thing for our planet due to human contributions to the gases trapped in our atmosphere. It's in our best interest to try and make some positive changes with respect to the energy we use and how we use the resources of our planet. With the average sea level expected to rise between 7 and 23 inches before the end of the century, according to National Geographic, we should now understand how important it is for us to try to reverse the negative impacts emissions have made on the greenhouse effect. And we want this to be a planet that our children and their children continue to be a part of.